We're the Wright family, missionaries to the country of Greenland. I'm JR. I got saved at the age of 18. For the first time in my life, I realized I was a sinner before God and where sin would take me. I realized that Jesus loved me enough to die for me and that if I would ask Him to save me, He would. On November the 13th of 1991, I repented of my sins and by faith trusted Christ for my salvation. My life has never been the same. I immediately began to witness for the Lord and study my Bible. From that, the Lord began to impress upon my heart to preach and give out what He was showing me in His Word. I enrolled in Tabernacle Baptist Bible College, where I earned a Bachelor of Theology degree in 1996. My last semester, in answer to prayer, God allowed me to meet my wife, Cheryl. I relocated to South Dakota shortly after graduation, and believing God had given me favor, I married the good thing God had given to me. We have been blessed with 5 kids: Timothy, Caitlin, Nathaniel, Jaden, and Sarah. We have had the privilege to be involved with the ministry in South Dakota since 1996, from preaching, teaching Sunday school, singing in nursing homes, treasurer, and deacon. I have also had the opportunity to work for the past 16 years at our local Ford dealership as a Ford Senior Master Technician. Little did I know that South Dakota would be God's training ground for us in later stages of life. Since Bible college, I have always been challenged to take the gospel where Christ is not and has not been named. Being led of the Lord to make several missions trips, one of which was to Greenland, God stirred that desire even deeper to go where no one else will and has gone. We began to make it a matter of prayer as the prophet Isaiah said, "Here am I, Lord, send me." The Lord took us up on that prayer and began to show us that indeed the forgotten field of Greenland is the answer to the desires He had placed in our heart years ago. Greenland is the world's largest island located in the North Atlantic Ocean. 3/4 of the land is above the Arctic Circle and covered by an ice sheet. Greenland was the name given by Eric the Red, and in Greenlandic the name means land of the Inuit or Eskimo people that have inhabited the country for hundreds of years. The population of Greenland is approximately 57,000, spread throughout the coastal edges of the country in 78 towns and villages. There are no connecting roads between towns or villages, making the only way of travel is by boat or air if weather permits. Fishing and hunting are a vital way of life for the Inuit. Whales, seals, walruses, muskox, bear, and fish are their primary diet. While some have embraced modern technology, many hunt the traditional way by kayak and spear. Due to the dependability and availability, Greenlanders have used sled dogs as a major vehicle of travel during the cold winter months. Many of the towns have more dogs than people. For fun, Greenlanders every year enjoy the dog sled races. Since most of the island is above the Arctic Circle, there is no sun for 3 months during the winter. However, there is a majestic beauty in the night displayed by the northern lights. In many of the villages, the people will go to the mountaintops every year to greet the sun's return. In Ilulissat, the sun returns yearly on January 13th, and slowly the sun rises and sets at 15-minute intervals until May, when there is 24 hours of daylight. Since Greenland is an island and has no trees, everything but meat is shipped into the country. Shipped items are expensive enough. However, during the winter months when the ice becomes impassable, the prices can double and supplies become limited. Many of these remote towns still have homes without indoor plumbing or fresh water. People will instead chop ice glacier for a fresh water supply. Greenland for many years was a closed country, not allowing a Baptist missionary free access into the country to preach the gospel. Since 2007, that has changed. God has opened the door into Greenland, but only one missionary family has stepped through that door. There are 78 total towns and villages. 77 of those are without a gospel witness. With God's grace and help, we plan to change that. We will be partnering with Brother Chris Scholl and his family in the town of Ilulissat, 200 miles north of the Arctic Circle. God has miraculously supplied them with a boat ministry, which we will be a part of. The boat will allow us to reach up to 25 villages. Our plans are to work with the Scholls to acquire the necessary language and survival skills, and eventually, as the Lord opens the door, to go to other unreached regions of the country. Our goal is that we might preach the gospel of Jesus Christ to these villages where Christ has never been named, and to see souls saved, baptized, and discipled. The Great Commission is not an option but a command. Jesus said to go ye into all the world and preach the gospel, yet there are 77 villages in Greenland today without a true gospel witness. Because of this, the vast majority of Greenlanders have never even heard God's true and simple plan of salvation found only in Jesus Christ. They have a state religion, but it's just that, a religion that preaches and practices infant baptism, but not true salvation. Some Greenlanders still hold to traditional pagan beliefs of shamanism, or they believe they can appease the gods of the underworld through various rituals. Of course, these things have left the Greenlanders with no peace or hope of eternal salvation. Because of this, the people have turned to drugs, alcohol, promiscuous living, and even suicide. 40% of teenagers have attempted suicide before reaching adulthood. Abortions in many of these towns outnumber births. The only hope these people have is the new birth, which comes by way of salvation only found in Christ. The task and responsibility is great, but God is willing and able. What about you? Would you prayerfully consider what your role is in getting the gospel of Jesus Christ to these Greenlanders? Will you partner with us to help us reach the forgotten people at the top of the world? Jesus said, "Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest."